Hey guys, Johnny from Tiger Bomb MMA here, and today I'm going to do something different for the intro. I'm going to use a randomized generator to do impressions of UFC fighters. So I'm going to click on the generator, it'll pop up a name, and I'm going to do that impression. And I've got less than a minute to do so. So as many as I can do in less than a minute. So let's get started. Number one, let's get going. Let's go. First one, GSP.
My wrestling is very good, and I will beat the Diaz brother, both of them, and Leon Edwards in the same night, just like that bouncer beat BJ Penn.
Next one. Alistair Overeem.
I beat that guy Miocic by tap. I felt the tap, and I should have won by tap. So I am the new champ. So fuck him.
Next one. Gegard Mousasi.
I fucking beat that cheater, Machida. Fuck him, and that Lovato Jr. Fuck him too. He's a fucking cheater. He's a piece of shit. Fuck him.
All right, next one. Yo Romero. ¿Sabe qué? Si no está con José, con Jesús, y eres gay, no te gusta ese cabrón. Hey boy, you gay, I fuck you up. All right, last one. Interesting. It's over a minute, but I'm gonna do it anyways. Nate Diaz.
Expecting 209, sir. I'm gonna beat you up, mister. Fuck you. Get expecting slap, sir.
That's been it. It's a minute and 17 seconds. Best I could do. Hope you enjoyed it. Let's get ready for the video, guys. Like, share, subscribe. This is Johnny with Tiger Bomb MMA, and tonight I'll be going over UFC 279 Chimaev versus Diaz, a welterweight bout. Main event. What a strange main event. To this day, I'm still very confused as to why this is happening. I'm not complaining. I'm not going to be a bitch and be like, oh, I don't like it. I watch it. I'm going to watch it, for cheap, if you know what I'm saying. But yeah, like Chimaev is on a tear right now, beating up everyone in his path, right? Middleweight, welterweight, and Diaz, this being his last fight in the UFC. It's interesting to see if he can pull off an upset. And like many say about Joe Biden, similar as to what they say about like Nate Diaz, how I feel about him, don't underestimate his ability to fuck shit up, because Nate Diaz could come in here and get a win and then ixnay the company and start off his MMA promotion with some big hype. Like Diaz is a tough bastard. Never count him out, as we saw with Leon Edwards. But we'll see, man. What an interesting fight card. But it's a full card prediction, giving you my thoughts and predictions. So first fight of the night taking place at welterweight. We've got Darian Weeks versus Johan Lainesse. The odds are in favor of Weeks, who is a minus 135 comeback on Lainesse. Lainesse, my anus, minus or plus 110. Interesting bout. What I found interesting about this one, and I was like looking at Darian Weeks because I've always been, I don't want to say high on Weeks, but I've felt as if he could be a pretty solid prospect. He comes in pretty premature, and by that I mean like he should not have come into the UFC that early, but he still has some promise in him. Like he's got good boxing, good wrestling, but he just hasn't really found that success in the UFC. He's 0-2 in the UFC right now. Losses to Bam Bam Barberena and then Ian Machado Gary, which I still to this day find that really funny that he took his wife's name. You won't see me doing that shit. Gabe Green beat the shit out of Johan Lainesse, and I took Gabe Green in that spot. And am I kind of on the fence about Lainesse? A little bit, right? A little bit. Like I knew the gas tank was going to be an issue against Gabe Green, who's a cardio machine. Looking at this fight, to break it down really quickly, is there value on Lainesse? Absolutely. I think he's got the ability to finish. He's got ridiculous power. He's pretty fucking slow, though. He's really, really slow. That's why I thought maybe Darian Weeks can beat him here. To me, it's a dogger pass for real. Lainesse, I like the power on his side. I like his ability to close distance. He's got long arms. He's going to have a 4-inch reach advantage and a pretty significant height advantage. 5'11" for Weeks, 6'1" for Lainesse. Big concern there. If Darian Weeks can wrestle, it might be interesting. Lainesse, he's not a scrub on the ground. He's gotten submissions. He's threatened submissions even with Gabe Green. Like he's pretty solid, right? It's just his cardio has been an issue. But I'll say this. Gassing out against Gabe Green might be the best thing for him, because you don't ever want to be in a position like that as a fighter where you're gassed out and you get your ass beat. He's never faced defeat up until that point. he looks in pretty good shape from what I've seen on Twitter. So does Darian Weeks, right? His hair is out. I don't know if he's going to have it braided. I'd like for him to have the fro out. That'd be dope. But it's tough, man. It's really tough. I think there's more upside with Johan at this point. I think he's got the better ability to finish. Weeks definitely, if he shoots, if he grapples, I think he can have very much the same type of success like Gabe Green had. I don't think he's got the ability to finish Lainesse. Lainesse is tough. Attacking the body of Lainesse would be wise for him. But I'm going to go with Lainesse on this one. I think he wins this one by decision if he doesn't knock out Weeks. Weeks, he's not been finished. He's a tough guy himself. I'm going to stay away from it, really. I might put a little bit of money on Lainesse, not doing any props, because I literally shoot myself in the dick every time I touch a prop. Like it's like, oh my God, it's so obvious that this fight's not going to go the distance. Not this one in particular, but in certain cases. And then they end up going the distance, and I'm like literally holding onto my severed penis in my hand. But I'll go with Lainesse to win this one by a decision. Again, if the finish comes in, better. But I think Darian is tough. Again, I'm a little skeptical, man. I think Darian's got the ability to fuck things up for Lainesse. So I'll stick with Lainesse for right now, but I would not be surprised. And I hate being this guy. Like, I really hate saying, like, I think this guy's going to win, but I wouldn't be surprised. But really, I wouldn't be surprised if Darian Weeks steamrolls Lainesse. Like, he might have a really close first round. Lainesse might win it, and then Darian Weeks just kind of pulverizes him later on. But we'll see if Lainesse has made the adjustments. I am predicting he has, though, because he's got a lot of upside, man. The way he closes distance with those crazy long arms and those hooks, it can cause some trouble for some guys. Next bout, let's go. Next bout, at what weight class is this? Straw weight. We've got Elise Reed versus the newcomer, Super Melly Melissa Martinez. And currently Melissa Martinez is a minus 165. Come back on Elise Reed plus 135. If you've been watching, I do like taking Elise Reed as a dog here. It's paid off once before against what's her face? What the hell's that girl's name? Corey McKenna. And it did not pay off against Sam Hughes. So with this fight, the best way I can describe this one, Melissa Martinez, she's got a lot of accolades when it comes to striking, kickboxing. She comes from Combate Americas. I'm going to stop doing that fake Mexican shit. But yeah, the Mexican fighter, 25 years old. Elise Reed, 29 years old. Martinez, 5'2", Elise Reed, 5'3". We both know they are both strikers. As we've seen, Elise Reed gets taken down. She can't get back up. She can't show off the hands. Melissa Martinez, I think there's more upside to her right now. I think she's going to be the better striker. Let's be honest. She's going to have the better chin because she's Mexican. And she's undefeated, 7-0. I mean, she's had some trouble in Combate Americas. She fought, what's her name? Dirty Dez. What is her real name? Desiree Yanez. And Yanez was able to kind of control her on the ground in the second round, control her against the cage. The frankest way I can put it, ain't none of that gay shit going to happen here. These two girls are going to swing it out. They're going to fight with their fists. They're going to see whose ovaries are bigger, not in like a genetic defect kind of way, but in like a these ladies have balls kind of way. And I think Melissa Martinez is going to have the bigger ovaries in this fight. I love that saying, by the way, who's going to have the bigger ovaries for this latest fight. But yeah, I think Martinez is going to be the slicker overall kickboxer, boxer. She's got a shit ton of accolades behind her. And like I've said before, I like Elise Reed. I like the way she throws her punches. She's got good power in her hands. But if I were to predict one of these two ladies shooting, it'd probably be Martinez. I think she'll be wise enough to shoot for a takedown. Elise Reed's kind of like you got to pick your spots with her. Being that it's women's MMA, this might be a good spot to pick her as a dog. I just don't like it, though. If we're going to have two girls battle it out, I'm going to go with the tougher, more Mexican girl. So I'll go with Melissa Martinez to win this one by decision. Next bout taking place at bantamweight, we've got Chad Too Bad Anheliger versus, I don't know if it's Heil Alatang or Halatang Heili, the Mongolian Knight. Minus 165 for the Mongolian Knight. The Canadian comes back at a plus 140. This one's also very interesting. I was literally in the bathroom watching tape on Alatang Heili, which sounds disgusting, but trust me, guys, I take care of my laptop. I don't touch it after wiping my ass. But Alatang Heili, he's a fucking anomaly, man. I'm thinking if this guy wrestles, obviously training out of Fight Ready, which I love, but he's been training out of Fight Ready for a while now. And the fight that kind of gave me some concern was the one with him and Gustavo Lopez, where it went to a draw because he grabbed the fence. He was clearly winning that fight. Third round comes along, he slowed down a little bit. He couldn't finish Gustavo, and he got into a little bit of trouble there. It wasn't like, oh my God, he's going to get finished, but it was like, if Chad Anheliger can land some good shots, it could be some trouble for him. And Helliger, on the other hand, he got taken down by Jesse Strader. And don't get me wrong, I love Jesse Strader. I'm a ride or die with Jesse Strader. I hope he's not been cut. I haven't done my research on him, but I love the way he attacks the body. He was able to take down and muscle Chad Anheliger down. Alateng Heili has to do that here. Chad Anheliger, he's a pretty solid guy. He's 35 years old. He's going to have the 1-inch height advantage and a 2.5-inch reach disadvantage. So Alateng Heili, although he got a knockout his last fight against Kevin Kroom, that was a very dehydrated Kevin Kroom. Kevin Kroom getting knocked out doesn't mean that Alateng Heili is going to knock out Chad Anheliger. I think this one's going to be really close up until the third round. If Anheliger can actually get some pop off some shots on Alateng Heili, it could be very concerning. Like I'm feeling Alateng, right? There's just a lot of danger coming back from Chad Anheliger. He's got a good guillotine. He's very solid. He's 35 years old, but like he's 12-5, right? That record looks like shit, to the untrained eye, but he looks really good in the cage. He doesn't look like a 35-year-old. But I'm thinking if Alateng Heili wrestles, which he really doesn't do, he likes to stand and bang. It's too many question marks for me that I don't feel like I want to touch it, but I'll go with Alateng Heili. I think he's going to have the smarter game plan here. If Henry Cejudo can get him right and be like, hey, you got to wrestle this guy down. He's too dangerous. Just avoid getting caught in the guillotine. He can edge out a decision. That third round is going to scare the shit out of me if I touch this line. So I'm going to stay away from it. Again, I can see Chad too bad beating the shit out of Alateng. He's got sneaky power, but with his last knockout, I felt it was more of a Jesse Strader mistake. He came in a little wild there. Like he got caught with a good either left hand or right hand. Doesn't matter. And then he didn't move back. He kind of took it and he's like, a motherfucker, I'm going to move forward. Hands down. He gets clipped with the left hand, gets put down. So I do think Jesse Strader, which I did take as a dog, was winning that fight until he kind of made a huge mistake. So I'll go with Alateng to wrestle. For the love of God, wrestle. And I think he takes this one by decision. Next bout, yuck. At featherweight, we've got Norma the Immortal Dumont versus Danielle the Wolf. Why not? Danielle Wolf plus 260. Come back on Norma Dumont minus 325. Norma Dumont as a favorite scares me because she was getting her ass beat by Macy Chiasson, and Macy is not very good. She did have her moments in the third round, but she wasn't able to capitalize and finish her like I was praying to God she would. So with Danielle Wolf, former boxer, she's not all that great. She's 39 or 38 years old. No, she is 39 years old. My glasses need to be on my face right now. She's a boxer with a boxing stance. Her lead left leg is there to get kicked by Norma Dumont all day, every day. So the problem is Norma Dumont's 5'7", Danielle Wolf is 5'11", with a 3-inch reach advantage. How do you combat the low leg kick? An overhand right to the fucking mouth. Knowing that Norma Dumont was getting pieced up a little bit by the longer, lankier Chiasson, it concerns me to even say, hey, she might be a parlay piece. She should run through Danielle Wolf. Absolutely, easily take her down, beat her ass. Danielle Wolf's like very inexperienced, but she does have some good attributes that can make trouble out of parlays. You know what I mean? Like if you got Norma Dumont there for whatever reason, if you're an idiot like me and you've got her in a parlay and you're like, come on, Norma, take her down. And she doesn't take her down. Ooh, what are you going to do? What are you going to do there? It's too much of a risk for me. I might potentially take a little shot on Danielle Wolf to catch her with her fast hands. Like she's still a pro boxer, right? She, despite whatever record she has, despite who she's beaten, scrubs or not, she's got the technique with the hands. She throws some kicks, but not too hard. I just worry that we'll have the same effect in this fight, similar to how Megan Anderson knocked out Norma Dumont. She just straight right hand knocks her out. I'm going to take Norma to be smart here For the love of God, take her down and pound her out in the first round. I think it could happen. Take her back and just bam, 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 bam. I'm going to do that. I'm not touching it. I'm probably going to put a little bit of money on Danielle Wolf by just straight or maybe even by knockout if I want to get a little frisky. So I'll go with Dumont, but don't touch it. Like if you're thinking about touching it, get some help. Next bout at heavyweight, we've got Jake Collier versus Chris Barnett. We've got Beast Boy / Huggy Bear versus the prototype. It's gonna be fun. I'm not gonna sit here and like, man, they're fat. They're both big boys, but they both have very similar styles. I think it's literally they are the yin and yang to each other. They both throw spinning shit. They're both pretty fun. Who's the better dancer? I think you can guess who's the better dancer. Jake Collier. Jake Collier is a minus 350 favorite. Chris Barnett is a plus 285. That seems like a trap to me because yes, Jake Collier should be the favorite, but that's ridiculous. That shouldn't be that high. 1 second. The line almost made me throw up in my mouth. Minus 350 for Jake Collier. He's going to be younger. He's going to be bigger. He's going to have the bigger reach advantage. 78.5 to 75. Chris Barnett again. He can really ruin someone's night if you're not paying attention. Like yes, a lot of people thought that Jake Collier beat Arlovsky. I am one of them. I had Arlovsky in a bet. I am man enough to admit that I should not have cashed that out, but I'll take the money anyways because fuck him. Yeah, Jake Collier should win this one just by he's pretty active on the feet, right? And he's a bigger guy. He's not afraid to get it to the ground. He's a very solid guy, right? He beat the crap out of Chase Sherman on the ground and rear naked choked him out. Chris Barnett, he's a Taekwondo black belt. He's so much fun to watch. Like I'm always rooting for the guy. Like I don't know if he's gonna be bald because he's been losing his hair. That might be like his downfall if he's completely bald now. Or maybe we'll see the new era of the bald-headed Beast Boy. And he starts wrecking the division and he knocks out Francis Ngannou. So for me, call me crazy, but I think there's more of an upside for Chris Barnett to get a knockout opposed to Jake Collier, unless Collier takes him to the ground and pounds him out. But Chris Barnett grappled Yoel Romero. So I think he's going to be pretty good down there. I think it's going to go to a decision. It's a tough one for me. Tough one as to predict how it's going to go. I do think Collier wins it. That line is ridiculous, though I'm not touching it because Beast Boy can throw something crazy and knock out Collier. To say that he can't is ridiculous. So if you take a shot on him, I'm not going to like scoff at it, but I'll go with Jake Collier by decision. So far, I've got a lot of weird predictions on this one, like decisions. But let's move on. Next bout. We've got at middleweight, we've got Jamie Pickett, Jamie the Nightwolf Pickett versus Dennis Tiuliulan. This one's also quite interesting. It's more close than most of the other fights. Minus 135 for Pickett, the Nightwolf. Dennis comes back at a plus 115. They're both 34 years old. Slight advantage in height and reach for Jamie Pickett, who is 6'1" compared to the 6'2" for Pickett, 6'1" for Dennis. And a 3-inch reach advantage for Jamie Pickett. So for this one, I like Dennis Tiuliulan. I think he's got good striking. He's got a good get-up game. He's not bad, right? He's not a bad fighter. He got wrecked by Chimaev his last fight, and he had some decent moments in there. He actually touched up Chimaev a little bit. For me, like I've underestimated Jamie Pickett's ability to fight. I don't think he's a great fighter, but he's got a great style to slow people down. Like he's got a really good point style. Like he can hold you against the cage, kind of wear you out. He's a big, strong boy, and he's got a good enough reach advantage. His striking's not all that great. His chin's not too bad. He's okay. I would compare him to like a very solid. Who would I compare him to? Maybe a slightly better version of Stoltzfus, but he's better because he's black. So I'm going to go with Jamie Pickett on this one. It's a really close fight. Again, like I don't feel comfortable betting this one just because I can definitely see Dennis knocking out Jamie Pickett, right? If Jamie Pickett gets a little too comfortable, he can definitely get cracked by Dennis. Dennis is a pretty aggressive guy. He's a very Russian man. And I just expect Pickett to slow things down. He's very good at keeping distance with those, like, what do you call them? Like front leg kicks, front face kicks or whatever. and kind of holding you up against the cage. He's not a better wrestler than Kizraev, obviously, so it might be close, but just kind of slowing down the pace of his game. So I'll go with Jamie Pickett to win this one by a pretty boring decision. I clicked too early. All right, next bout taking place at a catchweight, if I recall. Yep, catchweight. We've got Haiton, the God King, Almeida versus the newcomer, Anton Turkalj. He's the pleasure man or whatever, pleasure king? No, pleasure man. Yeah, pleasure man. It's not going to be a pleasure to be in there with the God King Almeida. So the God King, he's minus 700. I think it's a little too low versus the plus 500 of Anton the Pleasure Man. Ooh, boy. I've heard some rumblings. I'm like, are we going to fade God King? No, I'm not fading the God King. What the hell's wrong with you? I'm going to go with God King to do what God King does. He's going to take him down, pound him out. Like, it's at catch weight, right? 220 pounds. Anton made his debut on the Contender Series, and there was a lot of talks about him being like, oh my God, he's going to do this and that. He looked like absolute dog shit to me. He won the fight. He didn't do much. He kind of grappled a lot. He's a decent grappler, but Almeida, man, like going back and watching him do his grappling, like his grappling matches, the dude is fucking strong. Good top game, right? Obviously, good top game. He's not opposed to go for leg locks. Like he embodies himself in a style similar to Khabib. It's fantastic, right? This guy, I think he can go very far. He is 31 years old. He's just very, very good. Anton would have to knock him out or completely gas him out. I don't think it's going to get there. I don't think Almeida is taking him lightly, but after watching like old footage on Mike Tyson, he did not take Buster Douglas seriously. He didn't train for it, and he paid for it. I don't think Almeida, like you may think, oh, Almeida usually a 205er. They just gave him somebody, right? They're like, hey, do you want to fight somebody? Fuck yeah, I want to fight somebody, but I'm a little heavy. Hey, does anyone want to fight him? And give him props. Anton took the fight. The Swede took the fight. He's going to take him down, beat his ass. So I'll go with Almeida. I'll be disappointed if he loses for sure, but I don't think Anton is the guy to beat him. This guy took down Parker Porter and beat his ass on the ground and choked him out. He took down Danilo Marquez, who's a great jiu-jitsu boy, took him down, beat his ass. He keeps doing that. Nasruddinov, he was undefeated. He's a Russian, maybe. I don't remember. Took him down, beat his ass. Anton's not going to do that. He ain't going to do shit. He's going to get his ass beat. So I'll go with Almeida, the God King, to get I'm going to say a first round TKO. Fuck it. He might club him and then sub him. So I'll go first round. He's going to beat his ass. Next bout, we've got the prelim main event, Hakeem Dawodu, Mean Hakeem versus Juicy J, Slaban Mainab of Erosa. Erosa's plus 190 come back on Hakeem Dawodu minus 225. Very clearly for me, Hakeem Dawodu is a much better striker, much more technical, much better at point fighting. If he lets his hands go, he can definitely hurt Erosa. Erosa, though, here's where I find some like, maybe I should hedge this one. Like if I'm going to put Hakeem on a parlay, hedging Erosa wouldn't be a bad idea. Erosa is a fucking party spoiler. He knocks people out. He finishes people that you don't expect him to finish, but he gets put in situations with certain competition where he gets kind of like, oh shit, he got knocked out. That's unexpected. Like Ocho Peterson nearly finished him, and I'm like, dude, you should have styled on him. It's going to be a fun fight. I'm very much excited for this one. I don't really care for Hakeem Dawodu. He's kind of boring to me, but when he lets his hands go, when he gets mean, right, when he actually gets angry and fights angry, he's still very technical, but he's got more output and a little bit more power. It's almost like when you're fighting these Konami bosses in the old like Super Nintendo games. When they get red, they're about to like die. They get a lot faster and a lot stronger. I see him very similar to that, where when you piss him off, he gets a little more dangerous. He actually can knock you out. Like who's that dude? Yoshinori Hori. He was kind of losing that fight, and then he got a little mad, and then he knocked him out. That was his last finish. So can he finish Erosa? Probably. Erosa's got a weird chin. Like it's either Erosa's got the weirdest chin ever, man. Like he's either got one made out of complete granite and he gets hit and he's like, oh shit. He gets dropped, he comes back and he's invincible, or you knock him out completely cold. The thing about this one that gives me issues is the height advantage, I should say. Kind of mumbled there for Erosa, 6'1" with a pretty significant reach advantage, 2.5 inches compared to the 5'8" and 72 inches of Hakeem Dawodu. Looking back, taller guys have kind of given Dawodu some issues. What's his name? Danny Henry finished him. I get a weird feeling Julian Erosa might go for like a flying knee and hurt Hakeem Dawodu, but that's like a very low percentage type of thing. Julian Erosa, he can get wild in there. He's very fun to watch. I do wish he wins, though. I really want him to win, and I can see him winning this one, but I got to go with Dawodu. I think he's going to be a little bit more technical, a little bit better cardio. He's going to be a lot smarter in there. He's going to chop away at Julian Erosa, maybe attack the gas tank of Erosa. Erosa doesn't have the greatest gas tank. He's got a good gas tank, but if you punish him a little bit, he slows down. And then there might be a chance for a finish, like a late finish. But I do think that Erosa's chin, it's very much a mystery. Either you knock him out cold or you stop him with strikes, like bam, bam, bam. I don't think Hakeem, it's mean Hakeem Dawodu. I just don't think he's mean enough to finish Erosa, but I do think he wins a decision. I think it could be pretty close. Maybe Erosa wins the first round by like a smidgen. Hakeem gets a little mean and then wins the last two by a very close decision. So yeah, that's my thought on the early prelims. Before we get started with the main card, make sure you like, share, subscribe. Diaz Brothers 209, bitch. Let's see it again. Let's get on to the main card. The opener is fantastic. Gets me hard just thinking about it. Light heavyweight bout, Johnny Walker. Johnny, I'm going to need a Walker after this fight versus Ian the Hulk Cutelaba, which to me, I don't know if anyone else has got this type of mindset, but it almost seems like cut the labia. Ian, cut the labia, you sick fuck. Minus 185 for Ian Cutelaba. Come back on Johnny Walker plus 155. If you remember what I said earlier, where I said there are certain fights where it's like, this is not going the distance, and then you end up with your dick in your hand. This might be one of them. But in reality, how in the freaking world is this not going to end inside the distance? For real. Ian Cutelaba has power. Johnny Walker's got ridiculous knockout abilities. Ooh, how confident are you on either guy? I'm not in either. So very simply put, Johnny Walker has been knocked out a lot. We all know that. We've seen it. You see it on the screen right now. We got folded up. And then Ian Cutelaba, he hasn't necessarily been knocked out, but he's not the brightest guy. He makes a lot of mistakes in there, just like with Brian Spann. And if you recall, if you've been listening, I did say for his last fight that it's so obvious that Ryan Spann's going to get knocked out by Ian Cutelaba. It's so obvious that actually Ryan Spann's going to finish or beat Cutelaba, which he did. It's so fucking obvious that Ian Cutelaba should beat Johnny Walker that I get a feeling Johnny Walker's going to win. I'm not confident in it, but I'm going to take Johnny Walker by knockout. Like Johnny Walker, say what you want about him. He's still a very gifted athlete, right? He's fantastic genetically. He does have a bad chin, unfortunately, man. If Johnny Walker had a chin, he'd be heavyweight champion right now. And no, I didn't say light heavyweight. He'd be heavyweight champion. Johnny Walker with a chin is probably ruler of the world. Oh my God. But Ian Cutelaba, right? Like, he should wrestle. For the love of God, you can take Johnny Walker down if you can take him down, right? My biggest worry with that, me thinking, yeah, if Ian uses his Greco-Roman wrestling, takes him down, pounds him out, easy night, easy money, no problem. But what if he can't take Johnny Walker down? Johnny Walker's fucking tall, 6'6" and 82-inch reach. He's been training with the GOAT Artem Lobov in SPG Ireland. I think this is a really good spot for Johnny Walker to get back on track, right? He was looking pretty good against Jamal Hill. Like, he was throwing a lot of good, solid kicks. But Jamal Hill, you know, he's got great boxing. Ian would have to come in close. If you're going to come in close to Johnny Walker, it's like walking into a buzzsaw, similar to like Machida, because if he throws an elbow the right way or a jumping knee the right way, he can catch you, right? I am not confident in Johnny Walker, but I'd rather be on the Johnny Walker side, knowing that if I put money on him as a plus dog money, right, I already know that money's not coming back, right? If he gets knocked out, it should have happened. But if he knocks out Ian Cutelaba, I'm going to look like a fucking genius. So I'm going to go with Johnny Walker. It's, you know, I already consider it a loss, but I'm going to go with Johnny Walker. I will be placing a bet on him straight. Hopefully the line gets a little juiced for Ion, because again, it's a little too obvious he should win this fight, right? I expect him to win this fight. He should win this fight, take him down, beat the shit out of Johnny, goes back to the regionals, gets some fantastic highlight wins, maybe has some stem cells put on his jaw, and then he comes back even better. He's still young. He's 30 years old. But I'm going to go with Johnny Walker to win this one by a first-round knockout. Next bout, we've got Irene Aldana versus Macy Chiasson at bantamweight. Aldana minus 200, comeback on Chiasson plus 170. So Aldana's from Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico. That's where my family's from. So clearly going to go with her. That's it. Lobo Gym. Macy Chiasson, here's the thing about her, man. She's got some great attributes. She's tall. She's got good reach. She was looking good against Norma Dumont. She was improving her striking, but Aldana is at that point right now where I think she's a very complete fighter. Had it not been for that Holly Holm loss, I think she'd be fighting for the title. I really do think that she could present a lot of issues to that lady who's the champion. What's her name? She has 2 belts. I forget her name because no one cares about her. Pena? Pena, yeah. Julia, no, not Pena. She's not the champ. Nunes, yeah, that one. I think she can beat Nunes. I really do. I think maybe in one round she can actually knock out Nunes. Her boxing is so. Oh my God, I love watching Irene Aldana fight. I know she missed weight her last fight, so that's a big concern if she misses weight. This fight might not even happen. Both of them have issues with the weight as well. So let's not, pick on one girl. But that fight against Yana Kunitskaya, she beat the shit out of Yana Kunitskaya. And Yana Kunitskaya, as of late, as I mentioned before, like she has gotten that Maheta dick, and it made her very, very aggressive. To be able to beat the crap out of very aggressive Yana means a lot to me. But yeah, Macy, to me, she's kind of a busted prospect. She won the Ultimate Fighter, and she's consistently losing to Mexican women, right? Raquel Pennington choked her out. She's going to get knocked out by Irene Aldana. Maybe she wins the first round, but I think Aldana's cardio is very good. I think she's definitely been working on her takedown defense. Holly Holm was just able to muscle her down. That was her last loss. I think she's going to put hands on Macy. And I think she's going to, how can I put it? I think she's going to put her on Queer Street, and Macy's not going to resist it. I think she's going to be very comfortable on Queer Street, if you know what I'm saying. And then she's going to get knocked the fuck out. But yeah, I'll go with Aldana to win this one by a second round TKO. Next bout taking place at welterweight. We've got the return of the trailblazer Kevin Holland at welterweight. He's on a pretty good run, 2-0 at welterweight. He is a minus 215 favorite against Daniel D-Rod Rodriguez, who's a plus 180. I did think about betting Daniel Rodriguez in this spot because, eventually someone has to really teach Kevin Holland a lesson at welterweight, right? Someone's going to have to make it close. And at first you were thinking, yeah, maybe that fight against what's his name, Cowboy, is going to be the one. Like maybe he's coming down a little too early after the Kyle Dawkins TKO / chokeout / no contest, and he looked good. He knocked him out, and then he fucks up Tim Means. A lot of people, one guy in particular, I think you know who I'm talking about, kind of bet that Tim Means was going to beat him, and then Kevin Holland wanted his money. I won't say what's going on, but I think you guys know. But yeah, Daniel Rodriguez was like, maybe I should take him to win this fight. Like, not to say that I don't like Kevin Holland. I think he's really well suited at welterweight. Like the fact that he was fighting at middleweight for so long and fighting guys that he should not have been fighting at the time is a testament to how much belief he has in himself. And I'm thinking maybe Daniel Rodriguez can maybe capitalize on a couple things that I think Kevin Holland can work on, like his boxing. He's very good from afar, but in the pocket, he's not the best, right? He's definitely not, and Daniel's really good inside the pocket. He's got heavy hands. I cannot remember if he's a black belt in jiu-jitsu, but I think Kevin Holland's got the jiu-jitsu covered there. His grappling is improved, Kevin Holland's that is. So I'm thinking, can Daniel take him down? Daniel doesn't really shoot at all. Like he can counter wrestle, but I think it's going to play a lot on the feet, and Kevin Holland having the significant reach advantage, 81 compared to 74 for Daniel Rodriguez, is going to be the higher guy, the taller guy, not the higher guy. I think both of these guys will come in really high. He's got a 2-inch height advantage over Daniel Rodriguez. And to me, the biggest factor here is going to be the kicks. Kevin Holland keeps away from Daniel Rodriguez. I think he easily wins this decision. Can he finish Daniel? I think he can find the opportunistic choke, but Daniel's really tough to finish himself. He's a tough Mexican dude. I don't think he's going to get cracked. If Kevin Holland knocks out Daniel Rodriguez, holy shit, I'm going to be very surprised. Can he do it? Like, yeah, absolutely. He's going to have to find like the right shot, but Daniel's a tough son of a bitch. I think Holland wins this one by decision. Like, I do see some value on Rodriguez. If he gets in close onto Kevin Holland and maybe touches him up a little bit, I do think he's got the ability to knock out Kevin, or at least TKO him. You know, I don't think he might knock him out cold, because usually when, you know, guy drops down in weight, you're worried about that, the chin being diminished. I don't think it's being diminished. Kevin really rarely cut weight. I think he's really good at welterweight, but Daniel Rodriguez has cement hands, so I'd be worried having Kevin Holland on a parlay. But I do think Kevin wins this one by decision. I think he's just going to be the longer guy, more active guy, use the kicks, better footwork, honestly. Daniel Rodriguez is kind of like a plotty guy. 1 second. He ate chili today, so I'm like gassy. But yeah, I think Kevin Holland's footwork is going to be significant in this fight, because Daniel, he kind of plots forward. That's my biggest concern with picking Daniel. Like, he doesn't really move too much. He can explode for sure, but I think Kevin's not going to be there to be touched. So I got Kevin by decision. Next bout, co-main event, we've got Li Jingliang versus El Cucuy Tony Ferguson at welterweight. So Ferguson's training out of Jackson Wink now. He is 4-0. No, wait, that's wrong. 0-4 in his last 4 fights. Last got knocked out by the foot of Michael Chandler. That was devastating. I'm a big Chandler mark, but seeing that happen to Tony kind of broke my heart a little bit. I'll be upfront. A little part of me is like wishful thinking that Tony can come back here and win this one. Had he not been knocked out by Michael Chandler, I might have taken a shot on Tony, right? Tony, he's an elite level fighter. It's just that he dropped down a smidge, you know what I mean? Like, he's just not the same guy. It is going to sound bad, but the way I see it is, do you guys remember when Diego Sanchez, out of the kindness of his own heart, fought a child or a man with Down syndrome? And you can see the reactions of that young man / child who wanted to do MMA being like they're not just quite there, right? His reactions aren't that fast. He's just not fast. He's willing to fight. It's just he's not at that level, right? He might have, skill in jiu-jitsu or, training pads and such, but he's just a little slower and a little less reaction speed. That's kind of how I see Tony, right? Like, he definitely has the ability, right? He's got the willingness, but he's just not at that level anymore. He's got elite level skills. He's just no longer an elite level fighter. And to me, Li Jingliang was never necessarily an elite level fighter. But at this point, I don't think it matters. I think he can still finish Tony Ferguson. Tony's tough as shit. Not having that weight cut, I think, is going to help his chin. Not to say that his chin had any issues, right? Getting kicked in the mouth like that by a genetic freak, a genetic jackhammer, Big Papa Pump over here, Mike Iron Tyson, Mike Iron Chandler, it'll put anyone out. So I think his chin's going to survive here, but I just think he's going to be too slow, man. He can definitely try to wrestle his ass off and try to get Lee down and try to choke him out with the signature Darce. I'm hoping to God he does. Nothing would make me happier to be wrong about Lee beating Tony Ferguson, but I have to go with Li Jingliang to finish. No, I'm not going to say finish. I can't say that. I'm going to say a decision. I think it's going to be really close in the first round. Then Li Jingliang starts treating him like a severely autistic young man fighting Diego Sanchez, which by the by, I should say, Sanchez also lost that fight. So that should tell you a lot about how good Diego Sanchez is. Main event of the evening, we've got Khamzat Bors, aka Wolf Chimaev, versus
Nate Diaz, bitch.
Nate Diaz. Stockton 209, Mr. Chimaev minus 12,000. Come back on Nate Diaz is a plus 725. As I said earlier, can Nate Diaz fuck shit up for Chimaev? Absolutely, right? This is a fist fight. Nate Diaz is an opportunistic guy. You may say he has pillow fists, but it doesn't really take a lot of power these days to knock out certain dudes, if you know what I mean. If you're cutting down a lot of weight, like I really do think Chimaev is cutting quite a significant amount of weight. A good solid left hand from Nate Diaz can kind of put him on Queer Street, or whatever the equivalent of Queer Street is for Chimaev, because he would never go to Queer Street, if you know what I mean. Yeah, I can definitely see Nate Diaz finding some sort of opportunistic submission, like Chimaev goes for a takedown and he gets caught in a guillotine or something. Is it going to happen? Fuck no. I think Chimaev's going to take him down and pound him out, get to like a doctor stoppage, because, you know, Nate Diaz is incredibly hard to finish. He doesn't give up. That's why people love him, right? Like, it's always fun to watch Nate Diaz, like we saw with Leon Edwards, right? Well, let's just put it this way. Nate Diaz is the inaugural lineal welterweight champion because he put Nate Diaz he put Leon Edwards on Queer Street. It's my new favorite saying now. Put him on Queer Street. I've been there a few times. It's very lovely. But Chimaev, yeah, like what's clear here is that Nate Diaz has always been a pretty shitty takedown defense artist. He cannot stuff takedowns. If Chimaev comes in here with zero, and I mean absolutely zero ego, he should win this one incredibly easy. If Nate Diaz starts like slapping Chimaev and trying to get a rise out of him, testing his ego, it could really spell trouble for Chimaev, right? If Chimaev, he's got a bit of an ego himself. He's a little full of himself. I think he overrates his abilities. Is he good? Yes, definitely. But he hasn't really been treating guys that he should. Like, for example, he should have ran through Gilbert Burns, but Gilbert Burns put up a great fight. And to be honest, you know, Gilbert really trained hard for that fight, and it really showed against Chimaev. But for him to be acting like he's all, you know, the biggest fucking cock of the walk, he should have ran through Gilbert. He should have finished him. Gilbert's got a pretty whack chin, as we know, and Nate's got a ridiculous chin made out of like the highest strain of marijuana and Cheeto dust, which is like unpenetrable. So I'm very much looking forward to it. I'm not going to shit on the main event. I like it, you know. So I'll go with Chimaev by a third round TKO, right? I think in the first few rounds, Nate Diaz, if he gets taken down, he'll kind of wiggle his way out of it. Obviously, he's great on his back, great from bottom position. He can definitely put up triangles, arm bars. He can possibly sweep on the feet, you know. That's a crazy thing, right? I think Nate Diaz is better on the feet. I think Nate Diaz is better with his jiu-jitsu. That X factor is that unbelievable strength from Chimaev and just the ability to hold guys down and pound on them, right? So it's just disgusting odds, man. Minus 1,200. I wouldn't even put him on a parlay at all. Like, who does he think he is? Fucking Bo Nickel? I don't think so. Bo Nickel. I would second mortgage my house to put it all on Bo Nickel. I would not do that for Chimaev, because if Nate Diaz finishes Chimaev or beats Chimaev, the internet would break down. You try to go to like a website like SureDog, good fucking luck. Oh my God, the streets would be smelling of OG Kush, if you know what I mean. I don't partake myself, so I'd have to, you know, cover my nose. But yeah, it would be insane if Nate Diaz finishes Chimaev. I'd fucking laugh my ass off. I would absolutely, like, probably I have to call into work the next day, be like, I can't. I exploded a lung laughing my ass off that Nate Diaz beat Chimaev. But regardless of that, I'm going to go with Chimaev by a third round TKO. I think it might be that he cuts him. As we know, Nate Diaz gets cut very easily. And Yeah, I think it'll be a doctor stoppage. There's obviously going to be some complaints from Diaz saying, I wasn't, I was still in the fight, motherfucker. And it is what it is. People get mad. Like, yeah, that was an early stoppage. But yeah, I think Hamzat's going to finish him. Like, this to me is a very easy layup fight for Hamzat. Hamzat. I think he might find disrespect. I don't know if he is he Muslim? I probably shouldn't call him Hamzat. Hamzat. Yeah, I think it's a very easy fight for him to win if he fights with zero ego. But if Nate Diaz starts smacking him and talking shit and pointing at him, calling him this and that, it could probably get the best of Chimaev, where he tries to do something and then he gets caught with something. But I do not foresee that happening. I'll go with TKO round number 3 for Khamzat Chimaev. But let's take a look at possible parlays. After kind of reviewing the card itself, I'm not feeling too many guys for a parlay. Like, I would like maybe have like a really dumbass one where you just get a feeling that you're going to lose. But if anything, I'll go with Melissa Martinez. That's a really dumb pick because it's a lady. Johnny Walker. Jamie Pickett. Oh my God. Like, why would I put Jamie Pickett on a parlay? Honestly, nah. I'm not feeling any parlays for this one. I'm more feeling like straight bets. Like, if anything, I do like maybe Aldana straight, but she's almost like a minus 200 on my bookie. Let me see. Yeah, currently in most places she's minus 200, but through my casino she's like minus 186. So I might actually have to go and bet her pretty ASAP. Let's see this. Let's go with Hakeem Dawodu and Aiden Aldana. Plus 117. I'm pretty confident in both those guys. I shouldn't be using gendered language. I'm pretty comfortable with both of those people to win. And, I'll throw in another Mexican, Melissa Martinez. I think she wins. So I might do that 3-person parlay at the very least, right? Let's see, $40. $40 gets me $97. But yeah, I'm not feeling this card too much for like parlays. Like, I might have to do a couple live bets. Other than that, it makes me a little uncomfortable. But yeah, those have been my predictions for UFC 279, Chimaev versus Diaz. And yeah, I'll catch you at the next fight. Hopefully a much better card. And always remember to fuck Oberg. Good night.